The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
We're having a pretty big storm here, so please forgive me if there's any challenges at all tonight. Let's go ahead and do this. It's been a while since I've been in a webinar with you all. We've done a few hangouts and joint things, but this is just pretty much a private training from me to you. And so let me know if you can hear my voice without any challenges. Just type in the letter Y or the number 1, something like that to let me know. Use your dialog box on the right side. Just type in the number 1 or the letter Y, something so I know that you can hear me fine. Perfect. God knows I hate getting started when there's a lot of, hey, I can't hear you, it's breaking up. Well, as we look to close out the month, it's my job tonight to assist you all in avoiding mediocrity, which I know none of you are a big fan of. Am I correct there? That nobody here is in the game to be mediocre in the way you approach this game. Is that correct? If I'm correct, type in the letter Y. Huh? You guys are not in this thing to just barely get by or to do worse than your last job. Okay, good. We want to make sure we're in the right place. I'm going to go ahead and start the recording. Just because we're having such powerful thunderstorms up here in the mountain, I have to be careful so that I don't lose everything and don't get a chance to finish with you. So a couple things I'm going to do. Let me go ahead and start recording because I'm going to forget otherwise. A couple of things I'm going to do is I'm going to first give you a foundation for how to finish strong even if you had a slow start. If, in fact, in the first half you have 0 points, right, in the game of business, if you are just going through some of the worst times or the worst challenges yet, I want to show you how you can still compete, stay in this thing. So in order to do that, I'm going to have to just make sure we can interact together so I know that I still have sound and nothing's going on with the weather. So make sure when we are interacting that you interact with me. Fair enough? If you got that, type in the number 2, and I shall begin. No video so far. Well, that's not good. Anyone else with no video? Can you see my screen? Yes or no? Video is fine. I got it. I have vid. Okay, good. Okay, great. That may be a bit of delay. Fantastic. Well, then let's dance. When you're down in the first half, what are the simple steps of getting back on top to take the lead? Now, remember, some of you, I know, 30-day blueprint, it's a lot of jarble for you. You don't have the discipline, or you're just so busy being busy that you never can get to it. Therefore, you don't know about this. Or maybe tonight it's going to be a reinforcement for you and you have already gone through it, but it won't hurt to hear a different spin. Well, whatever the case, it's a great privilege to stand here before you or sit here before you and share this information. So let's go ahead. How do we do it? What in the world's going on? So when you're down in the first half, first of all, we have to remember to not complicate things. Some of you, it's the end of the month, and you were hoping to do better so far, right? And you got off to an okay start, or you didn't, but geez, it's already the 24th of the month, and you're kind of caught off guard, and you're not where you want to be. If that's you, let me know. Type in number 1. Nobody else knows it's you. And just be human here and recognize if we can see where we are, we can certainly pivot and gain some better ground so we can do better. So there's no shame in acknowledging that you're not where you want to be. In fact, it's probably going to be one of the greatest steps that you'll take this very day. So, well, hello from Portugal. Good to have you guys here too. All right, fantastic. So if that's you, let's go ahead and keep it simple. There are things you can do, and there are things that you don't have to do because the company's going to do it. And so you guys have got to establish some order in your lives and keep it simple. The dangerous things you can do right now, because you're nervous, you need to find some more people, 2 more people, you're going to earn money over here, you're going to get this bonus, you need only 1 more person to get a car bonus, and what happens? You become random. You begin to just mosey around Facebook. You begin to just interact and do things, but there's no order. And I'm going to tell you a little principle. And it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. The principle works the same, whether you believe it or not. God has a divine order for things, and we go outside of the order, the proper order for anything. There are complications. There are also consequences. And those consequences oh boy. As long as you can hear me, I hope you can hear me. Those consequences usually create barriers so we're further away from where we're trying to be. So let's keep it simple. Number one, remember the basics. Remember the basics. What are the basics? Well, first of all, if you're trying to become something you're not to bring people into your business, it's going to hurt you. You don't have to tell people about things you don't know. All you have to do is do what you can do. Talk about what you do know. Remember the basics. Guess what? Every day, tonight, starting at 10 o'clock, through the end of the month, we're doing an overview webinar. You also have an overview presentation in your back office. You don't have to know the answer. Just get someone to the presentation. It's pretty simple. Here's how simple it is. Open the email that we sent you today. That's the reason you're here. Then inside, get that link that you should share with people that are not a part of your business team. Share that with them. Get them the link. It's as simple as that. And it gets better. You just remember the basics. Apply what you know. Here's what I found out myself. I'm going to turn 50 this year, very soon, as a matter of fact. And as I turned 50, I not only was down in the first half, I didn't even get started until I turned 40, you know. Life was a big spinning wheel. Many years of special education. I didn't start college until I was 30. I spent from 30 to 40 in classes in college, and lots of struggles. Lost our home a few times, spent 3 years in the hospital, over 48 surgeries, some heartbreaking things that have taken place in my life. And I didn't get to start smelling roses because I was down in the first half. How many of you can identify with being down in the first half? You're just not winning at all, and you have to push a reset button and get back to the basics. How many of you can identify with that kind of thing as we move through this presentation? Yeah, of course. Human. But we can do something about that tonight. We can do something about that by getting back to the basics and stop busying ourselves. Because here's the deal. If you're too busy to do things right and be successful, you're too busy. Some of you will think, some people aren't here tonight. They're too busy. Yet, they're just as far away from their financial responsibilities as they were the first of the month, but they're even too busy to be here tonight. Those are signs. Those are clues. Get back to basics. We're also going to cover tonight, in keeping it simple, keep your cool. Did you know that you just kind of, when you're off footing, when you're not cool, when you're panicked and all in disarray, you're not prepared to win a challenge. In fact, in many cases, because you're panicked and dealing all emotional, you don't even deserve to win. So we're going to learn to keep our cool tonight, not just remember the basics. We're also going to master this idea. Instead of being random and busy, we're going to assess the situation. Where the heck are we? Here's the deal. You're not a loser until you quit. Surprise. Yeah, you don't lose it until you quit. You know, I was talking to my brother the other day. He is the first golden to ever crack or make $1 million, you know, in the first year, within a year. He's the first. But you know what? In MLM, he did MLM, and he did it for, I think, I want to say 5 to 7 years before he got his first check of more than $100. He's not a loser because he didn't quit. Then he went on to build big, huge organizations, and then build a multi-million-dollar training company. As you learn to build these organizations, some of you guys, you know, you spent more time learning to play the clarinet as a child, and you didn't quit, so you're good at it. Then you give your business so little respect. Some of you guys, you're not where you want to be in such a short time. So what do? Right before things are about to change for you and get better, you quit. God help you, because that's not what life's about. I'm so thankful that I'm not one of the peers that I had that have committed suicide before their 40th birthday just because things weren't pretty, because things weren't great. You don't have to either. Let's learn to remember the basics keep our cool and assess the situation so we can strategize on what's next. And tonight, we're going to talk all about that. Finally, in order to do this, to keep it simple, by remembering the basics and keeping it cool and assessing the situation, you're going to have to burn the ships. In days of old, as the Ferdinand and Isabella commissioned Columbus and many others to go to the New World, when they would land, they'd have to decide they had just enough food to get there, and to avoid anyone trying to cut back and go the other way, they would burn the ships. Some of you, once you make a decision to do something, you need to get rid of the rear view mirror. You get rid of reverse. You get rid of all the things that make you want to go backwards. You need to burn the ships and press forward with resolve. How many of you are prepared to do that type of committing today for your business, for a strong end to your month? Well, fantastic. Then here's what I'm going to tell you. There's no better place to be than tonight, because today I'm going to give you a formula, and the company's going to help you. We're going to be doing presentations every day to the end of the month, and I don't want you to be random. You know, God intended for animals to just react and not have any intelligent responses. They react to energy. If you start jumping really quickly in front of a dog, you're going to make him jump with you and start barking. If you bring a certain smell around a dog, they're going to start sniffing towards it and maybe raise their ears if they hear something. We have the ability to be intelligent and give an intelligent response. And what I want you all to do is don't be all panicky at the end of the month because you unfortunately didn't do the things you should have in the beginning part of the month. I want you to at least capitalize on what you can and leave the results up to being a byproduct, which they really are anyway. So let's just go ahead and do it now. We're going to get to the first step that I said we're going to cover. I told you we're going to remember the basics. And here's one of the things we're going to do when we do that. You're going to have to learn to do what you're supposed to do without hesitation. Nothing more disturbing to me than when I'm trying to help someone with their business, they have to say, well, I have to think about it. Let me see. And they're the ones that are in need. I'm going to tell you something. Every great warrior, every great athlete, every great parent, every person who learned to act on what they know to act on is able to establish and has, throughout history, proven to get great results. This thing of thinking you have all day or all year is foolish. I remember back when I was driving to work about 25, 30 years ago. I don't remember what year it was. And my friend it was 20 years ago, I think. My friend had not my friend, let me take that back. Someone in traffic who later became my friend had "Thank you AOL" in their license plate. And I'm like, what the world is this about? Now think about this for a moment. I'm going to just go ahead and do this. Let me go ahead and see if I can get my webcam here so you can, if I'm talking to you, you won't get lost if I'm saying this. So I'm going to share my webcam for a second. And so the screen doesn't give out because I'm in Colombia. So I guess you can see me. If you can, good. I was driving to work in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Merck Pharmaceuticals. Someone had "Thank you AOL" on the back of their license plate. I was so disturbed. I'm like, what in the world are they saying "Thank you AOL"? What's that about, you know? And I pulled them over. I'm like, we're in traffic light. I'm like, hey, do you got a second? We're right in front of the Bluebell Mall. We pull into the parking lot. And I said, what is that about? And this guy says, listen, in 1989, someone came to me with an idea about the shares for AOL. At the time, they were less than a dime, right? This company's unheard of, America Online. There was no such thing as Windows actively yet, and they weren't really prevalent in the general population. And this guy said, I knew that if I was ever going to be wealthy, I'd have to act now. But I'd already promised my wife, because I lost money in so many ventures. I promised my wife, the man on the moon, the mailman. I promised everybody I'm never going to do anything else. But I couldn't help it. And what did he do? This man took action. and took their $500 they had in savings, what was left, thought he was going to be divorced and everything else, and invested all of it into those shares. And then later, after his first quarter, didn't do much. But by the second year, he had quite a bit of dividends and reinvested it back for more shares and did that for a while. That's right. This was 16 years ago because I think it was 1998. Watch and learn. American Time Warner merged, and this guy became a multi-millionaire because he did the right thing at the right time, didn't think about it, didn't go home and check with anybody. He just acted. And if you're going to become great at what you do, you've got to stop mulling over. It's only the first of the month. I think I'll try that in a couple of days. Some of you don't realize, in the first day of the month, any one of you can be the leader on the leaderboard, right? Get out there, do your video, do your article, your blog, right? Build things, but you guys have got to learn to do what you must do. And here's what I've learned. I learned this the hard way. The results aren't my responsibility. The results are not my responsibility. The results are a byproduct of doing the right things, whatever those results are. Even today, what you're achieving or not achieving, it is a result of the action you've taken over the last 3 to 5 years. So I'm going to take my webcam off again, and I'm going to go back to the presentation. Oh, I got a panelist here. In grocery support. Somebody else is here. Okay. All right. I guess I better look around and see who else is here with me. I don't even know. It doesn't even matter. I don't know who's here. Okay. I just know someone else is here with me. So let's take a look now. What else is there? Do it without hesitation. Remember, the win is the byproduct. Wow. How many of you have ever experienced that? You just took action. You didn't take time to take a vote. You didn't ask everybody for their opinion. You just dove in. How many of you can identify with that? You've done it, and you got the byproduct. Everyone thought you were lucky, but you just did it. Anybody experience that? Type in number 2. Yeah, of course you have. And let me tell you something. Here's what it means. When you do what you're supposed to do without hesitation, it may mean that you're doing it beyond your bedtime. It saddens me how many of you have a schedule for the things that don't pay you and to have a more convenient life, but there is no schedule, only randomness to your business. Nothing sadder to me. And then we all wonder why, hey, so-and-so is doing so well and I'm just very average. It doesn't have to be that way. Please increase your volume a little bit. Okay. I got my microphone away from my mouth because usually they complain I'm too loud. Okay. Oh, Heather's here with me. Oh, great. Wow. I didn't even tell anybody. Wow, this is great. Okay, cool. You guys are the bomb. Okay. Winning is a byproduct. And in doing what you want to do, it's not always going to be pretty. You know what I found out? Even today, in agreeing to do these presentations, it means I'm probably going to miss a meal or two because I got other things to do. It's not just the end of the month for you guys. It's the end of the month for me too, which means legal reports. It's the end of a quarter, which also means, we just begun the third quarter, all kinds of things with that, all kinds of tax stuff. There's stuff for anybody to do, but I've learned in order to get on top, I had to commit to learn to work while others are playing. I had to learn to work while others were sleeping. I had to learn to work when most were ready to party in order to achieve the kind of results that I had to get, because it was already past the second half for me. I got started at 40. I didn't have the luxury of having the rest of my life or having the next 30 years to get it right. If you got that, type in the number 1. This is more to cover. I'm just touching the surface, and I want to get done in case the storm comes back. Fantastic. Then let's move on. Here's an interesting one. I learned this concept in my years of training for leadership, and that is a leader will go nowhere alone. Yeah. So if you've got yourself something that's working, and you've got team members, but you're working in a tunnel, and they don't know about it, you're not really going to do too well in this type of an industry, because this industry is based on duplication. It's also based on leadership qualities. So what you can do, my friends, is you can now begin to learn that a good leader will go nowhere alone, which means if you're going to go to the leaderboard and none of your people from your team are there, you're not that great. You're kind of just having a good day. When you're a great leader and you get to the leaderboard, people who are from your team are there too. If you're going to go and have your first $10,000 month, and you don't have other people that you have brought with you to a $10,000, $5,000 month, you're not really getting there. You have a false positive. If you get this concept, type in number 3 so I know you get the concept. I want you to understand that if you're going to do great at the end of the month, you need to not just do it yourself, rally your team. Rally them all. You send them a Facebook inbox message. You give them a phone call. You drop them a text message to their phone. Send an email. You blitz the people that are working with you and beside you as if you're at war together, because you are at war. You're fighting this financial war for your families and your family freedom, and there's no reason not to rally your team with you. If you're ready to rally your team with you, and maybe you have, oh, good, you guys are getting it. I don't even know this works. Go, Mike. Okay, good deal. Fantastic. So now your team with you. Here's the deal. Here's the thing about reality. This is for all of you. No one knows about tomorrow. We don't know if we're going to live or die, if we're going to be alive in the morning. That's just life. What we do know is we can have the prudence of doing everything we're supposed to. Remember this, it doesn't matter what company you're in tonight. You may be hearing from a different company. That's not the big deal, because principles work the same for everybody who applies them, regardless of their height, weight, gender, or company. So you don't have to know if the company works. You can do it with the company you're with. Doesn't even matter. The point is, people that win behave this way. People that don't win are very random, disorderly, and just do whatever comes to them. Is that part clear to everyone? Fantastic. Good. Then we'll move on. Well, we're not that fast. Now, rally your team to be faithful with the basics. All of you together work to be faithful with the basics so you can do this in group fashion. This is how you win. Anybody here ever played a sport where you're an athlete and you were on the winning team? Anybody ever played? You ever played sports? You guys won. I'm going to tell you something. This might as well go back to my video webcam again. All right. I guess you can see me. I don't know, but I'm thinking you can. As a youngster, I played in my senior year, my senior year in high school. And I went to a private school, a Christian school, Hammond Baptist High School, right? And we played schools all over the country, from Wisconsin to Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio. We played everywhere. It was a private school, so you didn't have the same things that you have in normal public school. And lo and behold, I was a part of a winning unit. We won we had an undefeated season, and then got a chance to play in what was considered a Super Bowl for high schools in Texas, and we lost. Let me tell you something. If you want to win, if you've ever won before, there's nothing like it. Why don't you put yourself in position to win for your family and for the people you love most? Why don't you put yourself in position, even if it means long practices, right? Even if it means just a few drinks, special diet, whatever it takes to win, you do it, as long as it means you're being honest and ethical in the process. And I tell you that because it's much easier to win at your business than it is to play a sport. You don't have what we call 2-a-day practices, where you go in at 5 a.m. and then then in the evenings in the hot sun running for hours. You don't have to worry about that. You can be a winner. And when you're doing that, you'll want to keep your cool. And don't worry, I'm going to end up with a strategy and walk you through how you ought to do this with your team, okay? For the remainder of this month, what you want to do, and then from now on, you need to kick your month off strong so you don't have to struggle at the end. Keep your cool. Did you guys know that when your panic and emotions go up, your intellect comes down? I might as well share my webcam again. Are you guys aware of that? When the intellect goes up, when the panic and the emotions go up, the intellect goes down. Here's another version of that. when the emotions and panic goes up, the income comes down. Therefore, I impress upon each of you not to panic when things are going bad for you. You got to keep your cool, even if it means just taking a minute, taking a breather, meditate, whatever you must do, keep your cool. Because if you can keep your wits about you, certainly you can improve upon your current income and certainly your current status within what you're trying to build for your family as you continue through the month. Anyone recognize that? Huh? The time of your life, you panicked, wasn't sure what to do, you're driving the car, you're about to have an accident, so you cover your face. Of course, you panicked, you made a foolish decision because you panicked, and it messed everything up. Yeah. Well, keep it cool. Sharpen the saw. Now, this is going to hurt. Sharpen your saw. If you don't know what this means, I'm going to help you. To this day, I have to read daily in order to keep up with the best way of leading and helping people, managing multiple businesses that I have. The only way to do it is not rely on what I've always known. I have to increase upon it. I have to have my saw sharp so that I'm prepared to saw through any type of wood that approaches my way. So here's the question. Who's in your booth? Where are you learning from, right? Are you in the booth yourself? Are you the guy playing the sport and you're also watching from the booth at the same time? Not possible. Learn to sharpen your saw. Increase upon the knowledge you have about what you do. That's why we created the 30-day blueprint, so you can sharpen your saw. That's why we have trainings throughout any given week, so you can get better at it. Some of you are professional learners, but you refuse to apply. When you sharpen your saw is not really sharp until you start applying what you've learned. Some of you will probably admit that you are an addicted, a learning junkie. And I'm a big fan of learning. But if you're a great fan of learning, you'd better become a fanatic about applying what you learn. Are you ready to do that tonight? Start applying what you learn, not just becoming a professional conference call or webinar or YouTube junkie. Learn to also apply what you learn. Me, I've learned to do whatever it takes for the people I love most. For my wife and my children, I'll do whatever it takes. Are you that way? I pray that you are. If you are, type in the number 1 tonight so I know that you are. Someone's audio is open other than mine. There you go. Good. That's where real winners come into play. Remove the limits, remove the things that would normally stop you, and certainly learn to apply what you need to. For me, even when I was in school, I waited till my wife and children went to sleep, and then from 10 to 2 a.m., I studied, prepared for exams, then all day Saturdays. I didn't steal from the things that were required for me in life. I just learned to play when others were asleep. I worked when others were sleeping. I learned to work when others were playing. I learned to get it done, and you can do the same. Now, you got to trust the playbook. Some of you are like, well, I never did that before, so I'm not sure if I should do it. When you've been given instruction by someone who's done it, maybe it's your person that sponsored you. Maybe they're advising you, here's what I'm doing, and it's working. Well, then just plug it in. Don't try and change or deviate from the playbook. Do it. Do it and apply it. And the great thing here, while I'm saying this is, as I said, principles work the same for whoever applies them. Do you realize if you throw a 50-pound ball or drop it from your arm, it's going to land on the ground? Same thing if I'm tall or short, the same thing's going to happen because the principle of gravity is going to work for both of us, right? An object's going to fall at a certain rate of speed. Playbooks when it comes to business are the same way. Do you realize if you have clear communication with your organization, you have a meeting time where each of you can grow and learn from what you're doing, and everyone agrees to learn a little bit more about their business throughout every given day, at the end of the month, you've got a strong team who's growing. It doesn't matter who you are, that you're, well, it's different for me because I'm a woman. You don't know I'm a black man or I'm a white man or I'm Spanish. Doesn't matter. What must matter is you apply the principles. Trust the playbook. Once you learn what to do, just with how many days left if you include today. 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30. That leaves you with 7 days if you include today, which is almost over. Assess the situation. See why you're down. Why in the world are you down? Why? Someone type in. No one can see it but me. Why in the world are you not where you want to be? Only you know, and maybe you can keep it rhetorical. If you don't want to type it, don't type it. But you think about this. Now, what in the world has happened? And here's what I'm going to tell you. If any of us assess the situation, we can look back at the last 168 hours. That's a whole week. Where most of our time went, that's where we're not down. You understand? So if much of your month has gone by and you've never missed your favorite show, you're not behind in that, right? You're not down in the first half. If you spent most of your time having fun and surfing Facebook, you're not behind. You know everything that's going on Facebook. You're great at it. When you assess the situation, if you look at where your time went, it's not likely, if you're behind in your business, that you were putting your time there. You might have put it somewhere else and called it business, but that's not the same thing. If you got that, type it in number 1. I don't want to confuse anybody on this. Oh, no sound? I got to be careful. Good. The best way to assess why you're down is to look backwards. What the heck have I been doing all day, all week, all month? If I spent more time in live chats, or what do you call those things? The new social chats on Glide, in Facebook, Pinterest. I've been doing all kinds of stuff, but it's not directly related to my business. No wonder I'm behind. One of these days, I'm going to do an interview. I'll find someone who's pretty much done nothing for the month, find someone who's like blown things out of the water for the month, and then someone who's just barely getting by for the month. And if we interview them about what they've been doing with their time, no one is going to be shocked. No one. And the reason I say that is, even you know why you're down. And it's the 24th of the month. Even you do. Maybe you just couldn't miss out on the playoffs, which, no biggie. The NBA playoffs. Maybe it's the World Cup. And I love soccer like the rest of you. But what I learned when it came down to choosing entertainment over my family, I choose my family. They're first. I learned how to say no. Once I assess the situation, if I'm going to do better the next 7 days than I did the last 7 days, I've got to manage my clock differently. So now, here's the question. Note it. Write it down. All the things you've been doing, and whatever you do then these next 7 days, whatever the heck you're doing, don't do it. By the way, let me know, is this helpful? I hate the idea of doing webinars if I'm just making noise, because then I'm wasting your time. I'm part of the problem, and I don't want to be that. Let me know if this is helpful for you, because I think it's all of our responsibility. We learn things, how to get past hurdles and obstacles, to share them with others, and I don't want this to be a waste of your time. Also want to double check to make sure I have audio. I don't know if I have audio. Let me see if I have audio. This is helpful for you. Just type in the letter Y, and I will track to see if audio. There it goes. Okay, it's working fine. Okay, good. Scared me for a minute. Audio is great. Okay, good. Okay, yes, great. Okay. Woo. Okay, response to anything I've done. Okay, fantastic. So let's keep moving, because I want to talk about how to plug in what we're doing for the end of the month so you can really get to this thing. So eliminate the errors. When you look backwards and you see that you watched a whole season of Two Broke Girls, or the Game of Thrones, or you didn't miss the NBA playoffs or the World Cup, but yet you've not really generated any capital for your family and your business, you have a decision to make. You have to eliminate those kind of mistakes, even though they're tough. You have to watch a rerun or watch it later, but you can't do it in the middle of battle. Somebody say, ouch. True. Somebody said, can't miss the Game of Thrones, sorry. Yeah, easy for you to say. You probably have a lot of money. You probably are managing your time. But in all seriousness, We miss whatever it takes. Because here's the deal. The next 5 years is coming. You can blame it on every MLM company you've been involved with, or you could look in the mirror. You could say, oh, shoot, I got to go find another company and take the same you to that company. Your results will be the same, plus or minus $5. That's the reality. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to make the choice. You do. You can jump around. You can find 17 new companies. But guess what? At the end of the year, your income has not changed much at all. You're going to have lost 5 or 10 or gained 5 or 10, but there's not much difference at the end of the year unless you look in the mirror and make the drastic change. Can you really miss the birthday party of a first cousin if, in fact, you are $1,000 short in your mortgage for the month? Or are you going to go anyway like most people do? Are you really going to let someone come by and repossess your automobile because you couldn't say no to entertainment? You couldn't say no to happy hour? You couldn't say no to just hanging around with friends on the deck because you didn't have the discipline to plug in and manage your business so your finances don't manage you? Well, then let's go ahead and let's figure out how we're going to do this. Let's execute the basics. What are the basics? How do I spend my time doing them so they can give me the result that I deserve to grow my organization and grow my team? Well, I'm glad you've asked. I might as well get right to it. As I get to it, it's going to be impossible for you to really master this unless you learn to burn the ships. Burning the ships is every bit of what I meant about not turning back. And the best way to do it, if I was driving a car and I didn't want to go back or look back, I'd get rid of the side mirrors and the reverse mirror and the reverse gear so that all I could do is go forward. We have to do this in our business. We have to literally destroy the opportunity to go backwards. That means some of you have never done this before. How about this? If you have to, keep your internet, but just for 1 month until you can get your head together, cut off your cable. That's asking a lot, but winners know how to do this. A real winner would say, in order to win the war and not die, I'm willing to cut off my arm or my leg to make sure that I can get through it. Some of you can't say no or let go of things. You got to learn to burn the ships and insist upon not going back. And it requires great commitment. And don't worry, I don't expect everyone to do it. I expect those of you who insist on being great to do it. Of course, all of you aren't going to do it. But for those of you who insist on being great and not mediocre, you can't only wish to not be mediocre or only want it. You have to make some decisions and take action on it. How many of you feel, or at least you know you're at the point in your life where you're committed to it. You're just going to take action even when it hurts. Type in number 4 if it's you. Oh, good. You're no less than a person if you're not going to. Just know that business may not be your thing. I mean, winning at it, that's it. When I played sports, you either played or you sat on the bench. And those that played, they were naturally good. Some of them that played, they just worked harder than everybody else. But if you were lazy and didn't do your thing, you just didn't play. Well, I'm going to tell you something tonight. There's no one on the leaderboard who is a better person or is loved by God more than you. There's no one on the leaderboard who deserves more. They're just there. You have to decide, what are you going to do to make a difference? There's no one who had a check 3 times the amount of you that is necessarily a better person. They're no better. The company doesn't love them more than they love you. They just have taken action in ways that are going to make them earn money more or earn more money. So learn to not turn back. And I like to use this motto. When there's nothing to lose and everything to gain, I'm all over it. Because if I miss the playoffs, I get to watch the reruns. So I'm not really going to lose anything, but if I can gain paying 2 or 3 months ahead of my mortgage, if I can keep Sally in college 1 extra semester, if I could send money home to my sick mother, if I can, in fact, give away to some of the charities that my heart is broken for, where children have cancer and where people have, these youngsters have autism. Well, if I want to be able to do that, guess what? I can say no to the things that I really don't lose anything with, and yes to the things where I gain everything, and I can do it all. And I can proudly stand here tonight before you and tell you, because I learned to make those decisions early, I'm able to help people all over the world. I'm able to invest my life in the things that matter to me that are so much greater than money. I don't have to work for money. I work because it is my calling. It was my calling to enhance business and make it better for people and businesses around the world. Therefore, I do it. But the great thing is, because I learned to make the right choices, I don't have to do it chasing money. And guess what? The good news is, neither do you. There can be pleasure in your efforts, in your work, but there can't be anything more than chaos when you are literally spending more time on the things that are killing you, more time on the things that cost you money, more times on the things that cause you to neglect your family. There's chaos in that. There's a void, there's dissatisfaction, there's that depression that can set in. You can change this around. Finally, you heard me say it. If you're really committed, like some of you said when you typed in number 4, why don't you remove your rearview mirrors? Why don't you get rid of the exit door and say, I'm going forward and not backwards? And I'm going to give you some examples because some of you are asking. Some of you, in the back of your mind, you told yourself, well, I'm going to try this thing for a little while. If it doesn't work, then I'll just let it go. Others of you have said, I'm going to give it 3 months. If nothing happens, I'm moving. Get rid of reverse. Just burn the ships and say, I've decided, just like the explorers did, I'm looking for a new world for our next few generations so they can have a life of freedom, and I'm going to do that at all cost. Learn to burn the ships and remove your mirrors so that your family can have a different trend for the next few generations. Years ago, when I chose to live differently, when I chose that, I knew I would forfeit a lot of the fun that my peers were having. But at the same token, I could rewrite history for my children's 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 children so that they don't have to go through those same things that I did. They can make decisions based on what's best. Doesn't your family deserve the same? Absolutely they do. So now, as we slide into the strategy, my advice to each of you is to learn to live like no one else so you can live like no one else. You see, when you're saying no to all those things, you're living like no one else. When you're like some of these guys, you know, it's not uncommon for me to get a, hey, are you there, Dwayne? I could have a Michael Martin or Alfredo or some of these guys that are, you see their names on leaderboard, you might think that they just get there by luck. But did you know that I probably can get to those guys at 2 or 3 or 4 in the morning and they're still working? That doesn't mean you have to do that. I'm just telling you, anything that gets in the way of them being successful, they just move it out the way. I want you all to learn that you can do the same thing. It's a principle. The things you give your most time to, those are the things you succeed the most at. Yes, if you turn off ESPN and if you shut down those things that are screaming to steal you away and to steal your money from you, you can have a life of freedom. So here's the deal. Live like no one else. I might as well look you in the eye when I say this one. Here it goes. Live like no one else so that you can live like no one else. And that's not easy, but certainly worth it. And as you do that, every time you have to make a tough decision and you get a call from your first cousin or a friend from work and says, listen, are you still coming to the birthday party? You can say, sorry, I can't. My business, it's the end of the month for my business. We've got so many things to do. I will send a gift. I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Learn to make tough decisions. When everyone says, hey, you coming over? We're all doing our typical Friday night movie thing. You coming? I would love to, not this Friday night. This is a Friday night where I'm actually working to make sure I'm taking care of some things with my business. You see, my business pays for my car every month. And you see, my business is what's keeping my daughter in school. So I'll catch you guys on a different time when my business is not in crunch time. Live like no one else so you can live like no one else. Learn when and how and what to say no to. That was my words of advice. So there we go. Okay. All right. Camera off. Let's go ahead and get this thing done, folks. Let's get it done. Be the guy with the cape on, but certainly be smart enough to go in the direction, be willing to go in the direction everyone else is going. If everyone's going to go have fun, be willing to be the guy over here when burning the midnight oil to get it done. Even if you miss lunch with your girlfriends, even if you don't get a chance to go shopping with the crew, if you miss the trip to Atlantic City, for goodness sakes, put your house in order so you can live like no one else. All right, back to the strategy. I have to get there now that, oops, I guess I can put this up anyway. All right, I'll keep it up there. All right, so I'm going to put my camera on. Now, this is my talk. At 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, every single night until the end of the month, we are doing a, whatever you call it, a overview. And at the same token, many days between now and the end of the month, I personally am going to do new member orientation. What I want you to do, get your guest to the overviews, and then in the overview, the gentlemen that are, when we do the what do you call this, the overview presentation, we're going to tell them, now that you got started, we want you to make sure you guys send your people to the new member orientation. I am going to personally do new member orientation of how to navigate through IC and the best places to start so they can start being successful now. I'm going to, in the orientation, teach them about how they can get on the new member leaderboard and win money right away. I will teach them about the importance of how to log in, how to use the autoresponder, how to use IC lead pages, new member orientation. From now through the end of the month, I will be doing that. You just do this. Let's keep it simple. You don't have to tell people you don't know anything about. Just give them the link, say, listen, you want to know how to have a business where you can have all you need to set yourself free so you can one day have an additional income of $3,000 to $5,000 a month. Go hear this presentation. Give them the link. But what's it about? You'll see when you get there. Some of you are so bad. You're like Delilah. Some of you, you're like Samson. You're telling the person your strength and they have no reason to go. You say, well, it's about, we have tools, autoresponders, we have lead pages, we're getting this webinar system. You're blowing it. The element of surprise is your friend, but you put it on the other side when you start telling the people what it's all about. Just invite them. Tell them they heard everything they need to know. Right now, you don't have the time to tell them, but you'll be there with them. Get them to the presentation. Can you do that? Number one. Can you do it? Type in the number one if you can. Yeah, I'm waiting for you. Okay, good. Easy enough? Yeah, easy enough. Get them to the presentation without giving away your strength. Have you never noticed? The people you tell the most to, those are the ones who require more information. They never do what you've asked. Haven't you noticed it yet? Some of you guys are like a motorboat, man. As soon as you have prospects shows a little interest, all you do is this. Now they got glaze over, and the last thing they want to do before they die is have anything to do with you and your business. You can only tell them so much verbally without seeing anything visually, right? Get them in a professional setting. Have you ever applied for a job and the person told you what it's all about on the phone? No, you had to go to the interview and see it firsthand, and then you'd find out later if you got it. Don't cheat yourself. Stop cheating yourself. Get people to the presentation. Then remind them after they do it, follow up with them. Ready to go. You've seen it. You've seen what I'm doing now. Get them involved. Can you give us that script? Which one? Sure I can. I'm not sure what script you're talking about, but it's a type in what you're talking about. I'm not sure what script we're talking about, but bottom line is, okay, here's the way it goes. Why don't I demo this for you? The invite. The invite's normally, if you have a high reach and frequency, you're going to get more people in the webinar. And I say use email or use your Facebook. So for me, it's simple. Many of you have been wondering, many of you have been curious about how I'm able to be at home as much anymore and have the kind of lifestyle I have, or do what I'm doing, or the new business I have. To find out, guess what? Tonight, there is a brief overview. We can see it, where you may be able to be my business partner. I don't know. Or come see if you qualify. Nobody wants to get anything that everybody can get in, right? So be clear about it. Maybe you qualify, maybe you don't. Click on the link. We'll be there at 10 p.m. Let's see if you do. How do I get to the webinars you're doing? It's, well, when you go to the website, you'll see something that says upcoming webinars. Just click on that link, and the date and the link and everything's right there for you. Good question. So it's simple. If you're talking to someone, hey, look, especially if you used to work with them, hey, look, I know we used to have a lot of fun when we worked together, and I know you always complain about, oh, gosh, you can't wait till Friday. Well, just out of curiosity, man, I don't have time to talk too much about it right now, but uniquely enough, one of the suppliers for my business, they're actually doing an overview about what they're doing, and maybe you qualify for it. Maybe you can be free and not have to wait for weekends to enjoy life. I don't know. Simple. I don't know. Is that helping you for asking the question? Good. Okay. Yeah. Upcoming webinars. Yeah. Go to the website. There you go. So that's that. Now, the other thing is when they do it, don't worry. Once they join, they're going to get an email from us about the new member orientation. Nothing's worse than just joining an opportunity and the person that sponsored you, they're too busy for you and you don't know what to do next. So what we're doing is we're putting in place, we already have new member orientation, but we're going to do at the end of the month to help some of you leverage a slow start. We're going to have it going, okay, I think we have one tomorrow at 3 p.m. where we know everyone lives in different cultures and different places, so we can't have everything at nighttime. Also on Thursday, I'm going to be doing a daytime overview at 3 o'clock. I don't know what time it is. You have to look on the website. And then we'll still have one at 10. We're going to help you guys position yourself for a strong end so you can not only earn more. Some of you know this. We give away tens of thousands of dollars every month just in contest, right? Just in contest and bonuses. We give away tens of thousands in car bonus. Some making as high as 12,000, 13,000 in car bonus, some an average of about 2,000 to 3,000. We do this. So allow us to help you by keeping it simple. I don't know if these kind of webinars are a turnoff, but it's hard for me to tell you about how to be successful without being tough, because success is tough. Everybody makes it seem like you just got to be good looking. Well, I'm out there. You got to be tall. I'm out again, right? you got to be eloquent. Oh, gone. None of those things. You have to position yourself, learn how to make the correct decisions, because right now what you're living is a direct result of the last 3 to 5 years of decisions that you've made. If it's going to get any better, today's the day to start. Why not June 24th as you close out this month? And if you're ready for it, let me know. Just type in, I'm ready. I'm ready this day forward to demand a different 3 to 5 years from now that I'm living today. Because this was hard for me to bite down. When I was having my toughest year ever, it was a direct result of the 3 to 5 years leading up to it and the decisions I made. Then I learned I better start making a decision like a champion if I want to live like a champion. Which means I can't always have fun when everyone else is having fun. I can't always sleep when everyone else is sleeping. I can't always be available just because everybody wants me. When I learned that principle, the results begin to change, and they can change for you. So let's end strong. Aren't there some people that you've never invited because you just didn't have the audacity or the comfort? Well, get the comfort. Have pride in your business. Ingressive Cybernetico is not your business. Your business is whatever your company is, whatever you are. Ingressive Cybernetico is a supplier of products and give you a compensation plan to use and move those products. Be smart. People will be more likely to join with you than they will I see. They don't even know what that is, man. Be a business partner with you and begin to move your products. That can happen. So we'll orientate your new people. We'll also present the message to them. Will you do your part and get them there? Will you do your part? If you got people already close to signing up, finish it off. Get them in. See that you have a greater last 7 days than all the previous 3 weeks combined. Can't you do that? I say yes, you can. What do you say? Somebody got a hands up button. Oh, somebody got a hands up. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yes, if you have your hands up, I'll listen. Let me see. Have ride in your business? Okay, I'm not sure what that means. Let me see. Supplier of the product that helps you move your business. Yes. Okay. Come on now. Yes. Okay. Yes, I can. Okay, good. Good. I was trying to read what you guys were saying. Are there any questions before we prepare to close? I don't want to rob you of this. I want you to make sure it's written in your heart. I don't want you getting excited because you're on a webinar. Anybody can get excited. 2 hours later, you're back to normal. We don't want that. We want action this day. We want you to take action upon your life to make sure it's going to be different starting today forward. So my question to you is there any specific question about anything I covered before we go that I can assist you with? If so, let's rock and roll. I'll be glad to do it. If not, I'll say it like Dr. Laura used to say, now go take on the day. And let's see here. Oh, wow. So there's no questions. Fantastic. Then let's do it. Let's insist upon a difference, not emotionally say, well, I just want to be good. I want to be successful. Every human being says that. And remember what I told you, when emotions go up, the intellect goes down and so does the income. Stop making these emotional decisions. An emotional decision, I don't know, my upline does this. I want to be moved. This doesn't work. None of that has anything to do with your income. Learn to just dive in and do what you're supposed to. Look at the person in the mirror. Hold them responsible, not your sideline, your upline, or your downline, you. That's when you know you really got it. As long as everyone else is to blame, trust me, you don't have anything yet. Okay, now, got questions. Let me get to the questions. What was the thing about cell phones yesterday? I'm not sure. I don't know how I missed something about cell phones. Oh, yes. Yesterday in the webinar, Juan Carlos was talking about cell phones. You know, we have the new app portfolio coming. We'll be releasing those at the conference. An app for Magic Responder, an app for IC Lead Pages, an app for Ingreso Cybernetico in Spanish and English. So that's what they were talking about in their cell phone yesterday. So thank you. Okay. Should I be giving much less information about Ingreso in postings? If you're posting, every posting should have an action step. It makes no sense to just get people to post only to ignite conversation. So what I recommend doing is be smart. You want to wow someone with your post, and that wow should compel them to click. When it clicks, let it take them somewhere. Whether it's your capture page, which will have your video presentation, whether it's your sales page, or whether it's the webinar. So I recommend not turning a post into a booklet. Just compel someone to take action. Want to know how my business partner turned $150 into $160, or how they turned it $20,000, whatever. Just get people to click. Create the at least curiosity so they want to click. When they click, allow them to register for your webinar or attend your sales page video. It doesn't matter, whatever it is you choose. Next, I decided to take action before this webinar. I'm upgrading and working even harder. Good for you. Please let us know what you can do. And I'm going to ask you, even though you may have been here for a while, come to my orientation tomorrow at 3 as well. I hope that will be helpful as well. Was in Spanish and you didn't understand? Yes, I did answer your question about that. Insist upon a difference. Absolutely. Strive for the highest. Kalui and Kalanui. Aloha from Hawaii. Yes. Back to you, my friends in Hawaii. I can't wait to get there. I'm way too busy now for a vacation, but I'll get one soon. SMS autoresponder. Yes, they were talking about that also. The SMS responder that's coming out in the at the end of this month. Okay, we're on sale. What was the IC design in India? Yes, it's called Indian members from joining ever. We had to do it that way to be compliant with the Indian government. So from that, many of those people can upgrade and actually literally join IC. So some of you who are only marketing in your own little network, I bet you if you joined a few of the groups where a lot of the leaders from India are, you're probably going to attract some to join that first. And then at the same time, once they get past, it's like a feeder. Like I think it's like a $5, $15, $25, $50 are the levels. And I think it goes up to like that or 100. Then from there, they can join IC. They could be on your team. So that's what that's about. You'll hear more about that at the conference. I'll break all that down for you guys. Someone says, Dwayne, you're Dwayne, correct? Yes, I am Dwayne Golden. Yes, I am. One of them. My son is also Dwayne Golden. Okay. How do you make a good post? Well, I just covered that. Allow me to cover some of that in a different webinar because this one should have ended a while ago. But let me see. I've not had a single sign up. Wow. That's in. Yes, I do have some advice for you. Thank you for that. Can you do me a favor? Can you type in your email address for me right there? And I'll send you something afterwards because believe it or not, 80% of every sign up from someone prospecting in our company has come from Facebook or a social network of sort. So there's a lot of do's and don'ts. And yes, there's a lot of saturation out there, but people like to deal with real people. So if you're just focusing on, hey, you can make all kinds of money, they hear that from everybody in every company. You got to personalize your stuff. But we'll cover that if you give me your email, okay? All right, let me see. EST for next webinar. Yes, all the webinars on our website are based on EST, Eastern Standard Time. My sound is gone. It's called what? It's called IC Pro Designs. Been promoting the heck out of Ingresso and have been struggling in my interest. Okay. Okay, yes. You also, I know your email address, Deborah. We'll talk, okay? And then I've got yours just now, Karen. All right, so let me go ahead and I got that on my clipboard now. Got it. Now, okay, well, all of you guys, here's what I have to do. Darling, if you can help me, my dear, I'm going to write an email, and then we'll grab the email addresses from the GoToWebinar report and send it to everyone that has attended, okay? I'm going to send an instructional video and then along with some steps, okay? And we'll send it to all of them, okay, darling? That will help. Everyone here is going to get it. If you were here, you're getting it, okay? Everyone that attended, not registered, but attended. I have some problem with signing in people. Yes, yeah, we all need to talk about prospecting. In fact, now you've made me do it. I probably have to do a webinar, okay? I think that'll be better to do a live webinar. I'm not sure yet. Just wait. I'm going to send an email out to each of you, okay? You don't get my emails? Yes, you do. You should get them. Everyone here's got them or you wouldn't be here. Okay, now let's see here. What else is there? I think that's it. All right, I think that's it. Any more questions? Let's see. Everything you do. Well, we thank you for all of you guys being here as well. It's our pleasure. And let's see, awesome, thank you. Need help posting ads. Yeah, it's a science. And like anything else, you know, if you go to learn the ballet, you don't come home the first day being as good as everyone else. If you go to learn to play the trumpet or the guitar, even if you come back the first month, you're not as good as everybody else that's been doing it for a while. So be at least cognizant of the fact that it's a learning curve that's worth it. Most people don't have the discipline to get past the learning curve. They'll make 2 or 3 posts, or they'll do it for a month, and they say, you forget, it's not for me. And unfortunately, they cheat themselves out of a great future. So that's one thing I want to advise you. So understand, even when I send the video out and talk about it together with you, and or do a webinar, I want you to recognize, be willing to make it, to take as whatever time it takes to master it. When you master things, it becomes an innate part of who you are, and no longer is prospecting, it's just being yourself. I don't prospect for anything. I don't think I ever have done. I mean, okay, I did do that before I learned this principle. Once I learned the principle, I began to just be myself, and people wanted to join because I learned that prospecting isn't some line you throw at people. Ladies, you don't like when a guy just drops a line on you and says, hey, have I ever seen you before? Hey, love that dress, or whatever they say. You want someone to just be themselves. And I've learned that the best prospecting isn't really prospecting. It's being yourself and connecting. So By the way, there's a great book for many of you if you want to be a great prospector. It's called Everyone Communicates, but Few Connect. I've learned to connect. That's one of the books that's been helpful by Dr. John Maxwell. Get that one, that will be a help. Okay, let's see here as we close out. How do I change the account? I want my monthly payment to come out like switch in my checking account. Well, here's a good thing. When you log in your back office, you just add funds. If you add funds, add $25. At the end of the month, the system will just sweep your $25. You don't have to worry about it coming to your account. We don't go directly into your accounts. However, with our new card system, we're going to give everyone the opportunity to click for auto payments if they want it. It's going to be optional, period. All right, then you'll have a chance to just set up that way. We will be integrating this over the weekend, so you should have the ability to order your cards and everything by Tuesday the 1st, so that'll be in place. It'll be easy for you. Oh, I just answered your question. Debit cards are issued, but they got to be issued to you. So we have to integrate into our system the ability for you to order them, set up your account, and once you do that, then you get it. You can get it as early as 3 to 5 days, or you can let it take 7 to 10 days or something like that. The company that does the cards is going to charge you some mini amount. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Probably $10, $20 or something like that. But so that'll be integrated at the beginning of the week. All right. I think I got it. Am I supposed to give? No need to give your email, my friend. I'm taking care of it. I already have everyone's email that's here because of GoToWebinar. Okay. You said you made money doing digital products. Method did you use? Yes, I did. I sure did. But by the way, let me just tell everyone this. We're going to be talking about this at the conference. When we do in July, digital products are going to be in your back office as a resource. It's not going to be part of the plan anymore. Just because where our world is going, we don't want to be a part of what you're being charged for. It's just going to be a resource back there. Everyone is going to have every product available to them. All right, it's going to be in resources. We're going to replace it with our new product we're bringing out, which will be a part of the plan. The new webinar system, the chat and serve, and the text marketing type things, that'll be the new things that are in the plan. So I wanted to make that clear to you. Good question. Wow, you guys are wearing a brother out. All right, send to me, love it, Ray Home. Where can I design a website? What kind of website do you want to design? Is it a team website? Is it a personal website? Let me tell you this. If you go to IC Lead Pages, everything you want to design is there, but you probably know that if you're a part of our company. You can design a sales page, a webinar page, everything like that you want right there in IC Lead Pages. And I'll cover that tomorrow in my 3 o'clock webinar. All right. Can people in South America sign for IC? Yes. In fact, our fastest growing teams are in South America. I'm in South America right now, so the answer is yes. If they live in Colombia, Peru, Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay, all over South America, Central America, yes, they can join, and many do. The largest portion of our company, I think, is Latin American. Okay, now, what is that? What time is the name of the book again? The book is Everyone Communicates, but Few Connect. You can get an audiobook or written by Dr. John Maxwell. Okay. Woo! How deep is going the spillovers in my network team? I have no idea, nor do I put any emphasis on spillover. Spillover are things that happen without you. That's just luck. So in order to build a strong business that's safe and secure for your family, you must build it on the actions that you create. So whatever spillover you can get, you can get. It can be that your matrix split up and you don't put anyone in. Good for you. It's not going to be frequent. It's going to happen to everyone. You're going to have people that fill up your matrix. But if you rely on that, you might as well run back to work, any of you. Woo! What link do we give for the prospects overview? Go to the website, click on upcoming webinars, look on the June 24th for 10 p.m., and there it is. Whatever dates you're going to click, you're going to use. They're all right there on the website already. Thank you. Someone on my team wants to quit, has been inactive for several months. Well, if they've been inactive, they already did quit, or they never started. Can he give his position away? Can he personal? Sure. That person can literally sign it over to you as long as they send us some sort of written explanation that they've done that, and then you can sell it to someone else or put someone else in it. Okay. Woo. Lead Pages rock. Will it be possible for you to change or buy an extra domain with IC? Yeah, you want to buy, you can buy as many domains as you want, of course. We give you the free one, but you can buy more. All right? Just go to customer support. They'll help you. I will Skype you about that question again. Thank you so much, my dear. South Africa, good. South Africa, not South America. Yes, we have people in different parts of Africa, and they've been waiting for these cards. We've got a lot of people, 2,000 members from Africa, so there you go. Okay? Will you ever do conference in Canada? Yes. Why don't you invite us, Rose? Everywhere we've been, leaders have invited us. So why don't you invite us if you want us to do that, okay? One final thing I want to say to you all. If you're going to host a Google Hangout for you and your team, and you invite me to be a guest, as long as it fits with my schedule, I'm going to help you with that, okay? I'm not going to do your work for you, okay? I just kind of present and say hello to everyone. I can talk about the vision of the company, but if you're going to do a presentation, you're going to do it. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do your work for you, but I will be a catalyst and help in any way I can. Woo! Can people in South America sign up? Yes. South Africa? Yes, many have. Okay. Wow, you guys are grown. All right, I'm going to give this about 60 seconds before I close out. Is there anything software-wise outside of IC back office helpful in building this business? That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know what else is back there right now. There are things you can find on Google, though. It doesn't have to be a part of IC. And if there are things that can help you with your business, get it. Use it. Okay? But that's what I tell you. So whatever, if you don't find back to what you're looking for, go to Google, Google it and find it. Can you change sponsors? If your current sponsor releases you, you can do it. I don't know the value in that. Everyone tries to do it. It doesn't make sense to me because the money you make is the money that you make. Your sponsor has so little to do with that. And many of you are going to find if you ask to change your sponsor, 9 times out of 10, your income is no different than it was with your last sponsor. There you go. Only thing that's going to make a difference is the person you look in the mirror. At what level is the briefcase available for IC? Well, when you're at the, you can buy it at any level, but you get it free at the, when you're at the, I forgot the name of the level. Okay, you got business director, the director level, I think. Go look on the plans. Go to our site, look at the plans page, and you'll see it there. All right, that's it. No, you don't have to be, you have to be an affiliate marketer. Let me answer this question to everyone. To be an affiliate marketer, you have to be at least the $100 level. That's it. Then you just pay the $300 a year, and you will be able to sell everything you can. You can make that a full-time business if you never sign people up into your matrix. Just do that and stay active. You can just make money doing that. Many do. God bless all of you. I look forward to seeing you at the presentation in just a few hours at 10 o'clock. Then tomorrow at 3, let's finish the end of this month strong because you and your families deserve it. Thank you, Heather Kite. Thank you, Conrad. Thank all of you who are here as attendees. God bless you. Have a great night. Take care.